Okay, YouTube, here's the deal. It is May 23rd, and exactly 1 year ago, on the last May 23rd, is the day that my mom passed away. I have literally spent the last 4 hours filming this video. None of that footage will make it to the internet. I went through all the details of my mom's life, everything that I went through her illness. It was extremely therapeutic, and I thought I was going to put that on there and, share it with people. I decided against it. I wasn't going to put 4 hours. I was going to, edit it somehow, which I wouldn't even have been able to do. But anyway, it's not, you're not going to see any of that. I am going to make something now that I think is worthy and should be put on my channel, though. Last time I talked about my mom on my channel, I cried, and I will not be doing that this time, definitely not. The whole 4 hours before now thing, I would, film some, and then I would just, lay on my floor and be just, a hot mess. That might be how the rest of my day goes. It's not gonna be how this video goes. This is okay, we're gonna celebrate her life. The things you need to know about this past year, well, okay. This year has been different than any other year that I've ever lived in my life. The first 15, 16 years of my life were generally similar. It started to get kind of different up until, this year, where everything was just completely, absolutely not the same at all. My mom died on May 23rd. 11 days later was my high school graduation. A couple months later, I started testosterone. A couple weeks later, I went 7 hours away to college to live on my own. Those 3 things are 3 of the most life-changing things I could possibly think of. And they all happened pretty much at the same time for me. With hormones, not only is it going to change the way you look, the way you sound, the way you feel things, it changes entirely the way people perceive you. And when that happens, that's going to change you even more. Being thrown into college, being thrown into the dorms, not having your parents around to do anything for you, it's what makes a boy a man. You're going to turn into an adult. You're entering adult world. That'll change you. And if you lose the closest person to you, a parent, someone who's always been there for you, someone who you've told everything to, if they're gone, somehow you've got to cope with that, and you can't just go on with life the way that you had been. You have to do something to cope. When these things don't happen at the same time, you can go through an experience like college or hormones or whatever, and you can come back and be like, these are the ways that I'm different. This is how this experience changed me. Since I had all 3 of these things happening at once, it was really easy to just blame every single change on hormones, which is essentially what I did. I thought hormones made my emotions numb. There were entire genres of music that I stopped listening to. I used to be really into finding new bands and new artists, and then I started just strictly listening to all this gangster, terrible, catchy hip-hop top 40. That's all I've been listening to for months. And I was like, oh, look at hormones, how they changed me. I'm such a G gangster baller now. I have no feelings, I can't cry. Then one day I was cleaning my room and I was like, I want a playlist that I can sing along to. I can't sing along to rap. I don't have enough time to learn the lyrics. They talk too fast. So I was playing the Beatles and Queen and all this music that I used to hear in my house, and my mom would just always have music playing. Her favorite band was the Beatles, and I was just playing this playlist, and I was cleaning my room, and I was like, holy shit, I'm sad right now. I'm sad. Guess what I did? I stopped listening to it. I started listening to Kesha, I don't even know.
What you know about this? Let me see you throw it up and they ain't gotta give it.
Pretty much do that all day, every day in my room. Anyway, I genuinely can't listen to a lot of music anymore without getting sad at some point, unless I just completely don't think about anything. It's weird discovering that something that you've blamed on hormones, or something that's just changed about you that you just didn't pay any attention to, realizing that there's another reason or a reason for it, and you're like, wow, that's stupid, and I want to listen to music again, and I don't like being sad, and I don't like people dying. Basically what I'm saying is that there are things that I do or don't do now that I do or don't do just because I'm trying to avoid thinking about something from my past or whatever that reminds me of my mom, and then I get sad. To get over the loss of a loved one, there are things that you gotta do or else you're never gonna get over it. I spent a lot of time thinking I was over it, thinking my emotions were essentially gone anyway. And the more I kind of deal with this and, face it, even though it's been a complete year now, I'm getting a lot more feeling back. I can control situations better. Blaming everything on hormones basically just prevented me from living how I normally lived. I've kind of been okay with letting events control my life. I thought it was hormones, but actually it was the death of my mother. Letting either of those things control how I act probably wasn't okay, but even talking about her for 4 hours like I did, you guys would actually probably really enjoy some of the stories about her. She was a very interesting person, probably the most fun out of anyone I've ever met. But just talking about her for that long really was like a weight off my shoulders. And as much as I've tried to ignore this in the past, it's been really hard lately because her birthday was April 22nd. Then Mother's Day was like right after that. And then today is like close to both of those days. And it's just been like mom thing after mom thing just like on my brain. None of my relatives have said anything about it, nothing about her birthday, nothing about Mother's Day. I don't know why they would about Mother's Day, but I think about her. And you know what? Probably no one's gonna say anything today either, other than me right here to you. So just because I haven't been in a spiraling depression doesn't mean that I've been a-okay this entire time. And I'm kind of just in the beginning processes of actually getting over it and being able to like function properly again. There are still days when I want to know a recipe or something interesting happens, and I just think that I'm gonna be able to tell her or ask her, and then I'm like, oh wait. And you'd think by now that wouldn't happen anymore, but it totally still does. I mean, my dad and my brother both know that I have a YouTube channel, and my brother even knows my username. Neither of them have any interest at all in watching these videos, which is completely fine with me. But it's just weird because I know that if my mom knew that I had this, she would have been watching every single video. She'd want to know like every single detail about every single person that I talk to on here. And she would probably ask about you all on a regular basis. I've been part of online communities before, and she knew every single person by name and what they did and what they like to do and every word that I've ever said to them. I mean, I went to Canada to meet YouTube people twice in like the past 3 weeks. She would have wanted to know every single thing that happened, every single second of every single day. My dad doesn't even know who I saw there. I miss her. This video has been about trans people and dead people. I've literally just stayed up all night just being weird in front of my computer. 5:46 a.m. I have a final at 8 a.m., but it's online. It'll be easy. Okay, you know what? I have to go. Goodbye, YouTube.